Introducing our new co-host, Alphaprime.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello, random person. Sab Nino here. Welcome to Sponge Takes again. We're here, just doing Sponge Takes.
Yeah, I guess we are.
Today we are going to be talking about the newest 22-minute special, Season 14, Episode 304, Snow Yellow and the Seven Jellies. When Snow Yellow is deemed the squarest of them all, the evil Queen Karen seeks to claim the title for herself by any means necessary. So what are your thoughts on this episode, Alpha?
Honestly, after seeing it, I will say that I was a little weirded out that they had a fairy tale as a SpongeBob cartoon. Now, I'm not sure if they've done this in the past because it's been a long time since I've watched SpongeBob.
They've done it in the past.
But of course they have. Why am I not surprised? The only weird thing is, why Snow White, though? It's the only part that confused me.
That's a good question. I unfortunately don't have a good answer to that. It kind of works though, to me personally.
I mean, was the episode interesting? Yeah, I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Some weird parts, but I mean, that's to be expected when it comes to SpongeBob.
Honestly, I think SpongeBob fits the role of Snow White pretty well. I loved his little well song at the beginning, and honestly, a lot of the stuff that Snow White does, SpongeBob already does anyway, so even though, like, the characters are kind of, like, broken for the sake of the parody, SpongeBob feels pretty in character in this, like, parody. So I can kind of see it, like, in terms of that regard as to why they go with Snow White, of all things.
I guess I wasn't really stopping and thinking about it that way when I was watching the episode. That being said, though, I will say that they've been pretty creative with their episodes, I'll give it that.
Yeah, they have been getting really creative. That's why I love newer SpongeBob. You never know what to expect sometimes.
To be fair, on the older episodes, you didn't know what to expect.
They kind of recaptured that in a way. The story is basically Snow White with a bunch of SpongeBob twists. Instead of the fairest of them all, or like prettiest of them all, it's the squarest of them all. So it makes a lot of sense for the villain to be Karen just because she's square. The shape of evil.
I will say that all the other casting choices for the characters were actually pretty good.
Yeah. I also love the dwarves being replaced with jellyfish. That was also a really cute way to execute it in like a SpongeBob sort of way.
Yeah.
Plankton as a mirror was interesting.
I was just getting ready to say that personally, out of all of them, my top had to be Plankton as the mirror. That was funny.
We'll get to him in the animation and comedy, but it's fitting casting.
It is. It really is.
Even Bubble Bass is like the serpent. Even though Bubble Bass has been kind of overused as of late, he has his moments.
Yeah, because even an overused character has their moments.
Absolutely. Did you know in Season 13 alone, Bubble Bass has appeared more than Sandy Cheeks?
Really?
Yes.
It's a character that literally started off as more or less like a one-time joke that wasn't seen again until later seasons, and now he's getting all this screen time.
Yeah, apparently so. Oh, I also like the songs. The songs were pretty cute. There was like two.
I can't deny that. They were pretty cute. I personally like the song that they did with the jellyfish dwarves, or dwarves, or whatever they call them.
Yeah, the seven jellies. That was really cute.
I thought that was honestly one of the cutest moments of the episode.
I agree. If I had a nickel for every time SpongeBob sang a song about a wishing well, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Really hoping you were going to go the full 9 yards with that joke. That was good.
That was literally the first thing that came to my mind when I first saw this episode.
That's pretty funny. And you count the episode we first sang about it, well, he sang about it twice.
Any final thoughts before we get to the next category?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, let's get to animation and comedy. The animation is great as always. I'll just say that. I'm a broken record.
The animation has come a long way since the beginning of the show, where it was more like a fuzzier style of animation that it seemed like, going to this more crisp and sharp animation that we've had since at least season 4. The sharp, crisp animation that just really makes the character and the art style just really pop.
Absolutely. We don't get instances like Marker Bob anymore, which you probably don't know what I'm talking about. It's like Elf showing an image on. Basically, in season 3, there was like this term coined by the fandom called Marker Bob, where the line work almost looks like a marker. It's interesting. But there's less instances of that. Well, actually, there's no instances anymore because technology has improved. But yeah, the animation's great. A lot of creative visual gags as always.
Like how they finally came up with a design for Old Man Jenkins. Like they personally have locked down a design, and it's been the same design as far as I could trace back. Was back during the Friend or Foe special back in like what was that, like 2011 or something like that?
Like season 5, like 2007, I believe. Yeah, that is Old Man Jenkins now. But that doesn't mean the other Old Man Jenkins are gone. For instance, the iconic one with the glasses, like the short green one, he has a new name now. Old Man Walker.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know they finally came up with a name for him.
Yeah, instead of Old Man Jenkins,
as far as
Old Man Walker.
Wow. Because as far as I know, he's had so many different designs throughout the series, and the only one besides this one that's had the most appearances was the stunt double one that later showed up again in the Lights Camera Hands video game. I honestly like the way how they made the Seven Jellies look with taking all different characters of all SpongeBob's friends and putting them into jellyfish modes. It worked. Personally, I would have to say my favorite design had to have been Mrs. Buff.
That's fair. It does have
I thought
a
her
very
design was just flawless. Yeah, hers was just flawless. And
well, she's already
another one
round, so it makes perfect sense.
Another one that I like, and this is more like this is not so much like a character design, but more like a callback to an old episode, I believe was Chocolate with Nuts, and how they brought back the old shriveled up worm lady as the cuckoo clock for when they were working at the mines.
Oh yeah. They've
I
been bringing her back a lot.
I loved how they brought no kidding.
Yeah, she has like a few other appearances. Honestly, I'm not crazy about her comeback, believe it or not.
Really?
Basically, they turned her into like this extreme, like old lady who does like extreme sports and stuff.
Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing clips on that.
I do like her new name though. Her name is now Old Lady Baby Prunes.
Old Lady Baby Prunes.
Yeah.
That is the greatest name I've ever heard.
But I do like her inclusion in this episode.
Personally, I liked the dentist scene when you've got Snow Yellow going through and giving people like gemstones and stuff, where you've got the dentist who is fixing someone's teeth. The gems are his teeth, and the doctor tries, and you see the doctor's teeth is way worse than his patient's.
Holy shit, I forgot about that joke. You're right. That was great.
But personally, one of my favorite jokes, and this is speaking as a Lord of the Rings fan, in this episode, when you see Bubble Bass as the huntsman getting ready to slice and dice up Snow Yellow, when he's like passed out on the ground, Snow Yellow goes over there and says, "Looks like somebody missed second breakfast."
Looks like someone skipped their second breakfast.
I loved that joke. As a Lord of the Rings fan, I was dying.
I've never seen Lord of the Rings, so that went over my head.
Oh, first off, you don't know what you're missing on that, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm an uncultured swine.
Character placements.
I'm willing to admit it. Yeah?
But character placements, who would you say fit the best in terms of the characters that a SpongeBob character were assigned to?
Personally, SpongeBob himself. I think he fits the role of Snow White perfectly. I love Plankton as the mirror. I think one of my favorite lines is when he was trying to rhyme and...
You, my queen, are square, 'tis true, but Snow Yellow is the squarest. Boop-boop-be-doo.
That he couldn't think of anything, so he just went... Boop-boop-be-doo.
Oh, I heard that and I about died. I was laughing so hard. The comedy has definitely improved over this period of time.
Absolutely. Like, for a while, we had, like, season 6 to, like, 9, which had its moments, but overall wasn't super funny, to nowadays, where the comedy isn't as good as the first 3 seasons, but it's charming, and it has a lot of really funny moments that I still think about.
When it comes to comedy, the biggest thing about it is if the joke can still stay funny. But overall, I think the comedy animation have definitely improved over the years, and this episode is definitely no exception.
One thing I laughed super hard at is SpongeBob's death.
Oh, okay. Only because I gotta know, as a fellow SpongeBob fan, or in this case, super fan, when that part came up, not only did I laugh hard, but am I the only one that pictured the SpongeBob SquarePants movie?
You are not the only one at all. That was the reason why I found it funny.
It was hysterical. And then at the end, when you actually see them crying, because, I mean, what saved them in SpongeBob SquarePants movie?
The tear of the Goofy Goobers!
Ding, 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 ding!
I didn't even think about that. You're right. The tears of the Goofy Goobers brought him back. I love that. That honestly makes me love that scene even more.
And that's just another one of the callbacks, because one that I noticed, I don't know if you caught, Sab, when you see the ending song when they're talking about it, and this is also, I personally also think it was a nice, funny little callback, is when Gary starts banging his eyes together.
Oh yeah, that is a great reference. They have been using that a lot lately.
No kidding.
Well, not a lot, but they have been using it a decent amount. For instance, in the SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run, they did have Gary's eyes click-clack like that for like a brief montage.
Oh, nice.
Honestly, the ending of this episode is a lot better than what I envisioned, like, when I was watching the episode. I was kind of predicting, like, where it was gonna go because it's Snow White. It's kind of hard not to. What I envisioned in my head for some reason was having SpongeBob be saved by a man in shining armor like they did in the actual thing. And I honestly thought Larry the Lobster would have been the choice they went with because Larry the Lobster. But honestly, I love this better. I love how they didn't give SpongeBob a prince. He's a strong, independent sponge who don't need no man.
It wasn't like an in-your-face callback like a lot of movies do here nowadays.
No,
but
it's not.
It was still a nice little subtle callback that, and SpongeBob is, in my opinion, is one of those shows that doesn't rely a lot on its callbacks, because I've seen there's a lot of shows that do that nowadays.
Sometimes it does,
yes.
But mostly it's done tastefully.
And SpongeBob is one of the ones that, yes, it makes callbacks to previous episodes, but it doesn't, like, fully rely on them.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not just in the shows, but the video games as well, where they make callbacks to old episodes.
Oh, absolutely. I found bran flakes in the Patrick Star game, for instance.
Wait, bran flakes? Don't you mean a Kelpo or whatever?
No, bran flakes, bold new taste.
Oh, duh.
Oh, speaking of which, Tangent of the Week. They're coming out with a new SpongeBob game. I did a YouTube short on this, but we wanted to talk about it.
And honestly, after seeing the trailer, I heard about the game via this Twitter account that I follow, or X. I'm sorry, it'll still always be Twitter to me.
Same. I will always dead name Twitter.
But I followed this one on there. It was talking about a new SpongeBob getting announced. And I'm not kidding. Right after I texted you, Sab, they posted the trailer. Right after I sent that text.
Yeah.
Even though it was more of a teaser than a trailer, but hey, it still works. And
hey, it's a good
honestly,
way to get you hyped.
I am crazy excited for it. Because the way that THQ Nordic has been doing the games show recently, they've been good. It's been like pretty much good game after good game, at least in my opinion. Because we got the Battle for Bikini Bottom remake. Then we got Cosmic Shake, which I still need to go back to and play that more.
You should.
Then we've got that Patrick Star game that looks and sounds hysterical.
I was telling him about it before we recorded. I'm a sucker for the Patrick Star game. Watch my Let's Play. The Patrick Star game. Shameless plug.
Noted.
One thing I'm very curious about is if this game is going to be a tie-in to the upcoming SpongeBob movie.
Nickelodeon has been pushing out a lot of SpongeBob movies here recently.
Yeah, because they released Saving Bikini Bottom. They're about to release Plankton the movie. But the next theatrical movie is titled The SpongeBob Movie Search for SquarePants. And the Flying Dutchman is one of the main characters in that movie.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me is wondering if this is going to be like a whole original thing, or is this going to be more like a rehash of Who Bob What Pants from like way back when?
It doesn't sound like it. The synopsis has something to do with SpongeBob and the Flying Dutchman, like SpongeBob facing off the Flying Dutchman. Oh, and the Dutchman is voiced by Mark Hamill.
You're kidding!
Dead serious.
Ooh, okay. I'll have to actually go out of my way to watch that. Me not watching SpongeBob in quite a few years. One, I got some serious catching up to do. And two, that just sounds awesome.
Honestly, he did.
I've also got to watch the other two movies.
We've heard like a little snippet from like a Comic-Con of how he sounds like, but he sounds very different.
I'm the Flying Dutchman. I'm after this guy, and I'm gonna get him if it's the last thing I do.
I'm kind of mixed on them like recasting the Dutchman since he's had the same voice for so long, but I'm willing to give him a chance. So, as we mentioned earlier, this is actually the 4th episode based on a fairy tale, with the other ones being Patnocchio, Big Bad Bubble Bass, and Plankton and the Beanstalk. By the way, we didn't talk about this episode on Sponge Takes, but I fucking hate Sponge Goose in that episode.
Is it that bad?
It is that bad, I hate it!
I'm gonna take your word for it, because the last time I didn't, I ended up scarring my brain.
Oh my fucking god! Oh, this episode was also leaked on the complete 14th season DVD, along with an episode that we're also going to be talking about, Sandy's Country Christmas.
When that one comes out eventually, I gotta see that one.
I've already seen it. This is also the 5th episode total, where the episode takes place in an alternate universe.
Yeah, with the first one being the algae's always greener, and the second being Welcome to Binary Bottom, which I haven't seen that one.
I have seen that one. It's pretty good.
Wait, hold on. I think I may have heard about that one. Is that the one where they're all like robots and stuff?
Yeah,
I remember seeing clips of it, but I've never actually seen the whole episode of it. So I've got a lot of catching up to do.
well, this show will help you. When Karen says, "Oh, what a world," that's apparently a reference to the Wizard of Oz.
One that I cannot believe I missed was the urchin flirting with one of Snow Yellow's eyes as a reference to Pepe Le Pew.
Oh shit, I remember it now.
Oh.
He was flirting with SpongeBob's eye. That was kind of
Yeah,
creepy.
and then I thought so too. I forgot to mention this in the first segment. The glass shoes that Queen Karen was throwing from the balcony being a reference to Cinderella. I got the reference, but I love how he was asking, how is she getting all these glass shoes?
I love that too. I wonder if that's potential foreshadowing for a Cinderella thing in the future. Given how well they did with this one, I'm honestly a little bit more open-minded to the fairy tales.
If we're going something like that, personally, I would love to see a Hansel and Gretel one.
I'd love to see Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, that would have been good.
With the current era of animation this show is in, and how the comedy is, I think the show would do perfect for that sort of parody.
I think so too.
Yeah, that was Sponge Takes. Thank you for being my new co-host, Alphaprime. I'm really looking forward to our future endeavors.
So am I, Seb. Wait to see what they cook up next.
You might eat your words on that one, because the next episode, we're actually gonna go to Pat Takes,
Okay.
where we talk about the Patrick Star Show episode, Thanks But No Thanksgiving.
Okay, they're branching on doing a Thanksgiving episode. Wow, not a lot of shows do that.
Yeah, but what do you guys think of Snow Yellow and the Seven Jellies? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you mixed on it? Do you agree that SpongeBob should have an Alice in Wonderland thing? Comment below. Let's start a discussion. And with all that said, it's all Sab from here. Say goodbye.
Catch you later, guys.